All right. So sorry about the video, guys. You should be able to see it now. Yeah, thank you. All right. So again, diversification is important, and this week is the perfect proof for that, right? Because well, the results are speaking for themselves. So let's begin, guys. Would you prefer we start with FX Delta, or we cover first of all the traditional ones and then we bring on the new guy? All right. So as you know, we are still working on implementing the same technology that we have for all the other strategies, which is going to give us the percentage pips, all that details, and of course, the numbers not so important, but the images are the most important part here because we can go ahead and learn. We actually have it already. It is being tested, so we just need to make sure it works fine, and I hope that by the end of this week, okay, because now we have cryptos, we can test it even on cryptos during the weekends. Hopefully on Monday we're gonna start live, or somewhere next week, so we're gonna start having screenshots. In terms of Delta, well, we had only one classical setup, which means the scanner having the two arrows. By the way, for those of you guys, I see new guys, so again, we're gonna cover each strategy with its rules. So Delta, it is a classical trend trading strategy. It relies heavily on a pattern which is spotted on the MACD, which basically covers the ratio between histogram and moving average. Inside the scanner, you're going to see either two arrows, or excuse me, guys, or no arrows at all. So one arrow would mean that you have delta pattern, which means you have direction. Two arrows, excuse me again. All right. Two arrows would mean that you have delta pattern and trading setup, and then nothing would mean, well, nothing. You have none. That being said, we can go ahead and already start discussing the advanced trading setups, which we're going to create a webinar for that. We're going to cover that in details. But the idea is simple. When you have one arrow alone, right, you can actually go ahead and trade in this direction based on other principles, right? Because once you have the direction, this principle that the software uses is not the only solution for us. Of course, if you prefer to trade only this one, that's also perfectly fine. That's why the strategy was created this way. So it gives you the option, if you're an advanced trader, you can take advantage of the actual delta pattern alone, or if you're a beginner who really doesn't have the time to go ahead scan, or still don't know any advanced methods of trading, you can simply rely on the software entirely. One moment. All right. So pound Aussie. Pound Aussie, we had the setup. Where was the setup? Can I open the short? Okay, so basically that was our setup, guys, right here. We got the breakout. Okay. And then the push lower. And target one was basically reached and slightly below it. So we have target through two a bit lower. 4-hour chart also gave a setup, and this is a live setup actually. And this is how it looks in reality, guys, for those of you who didn't watch the video. So basically you have a setup on the higher time frame, you have a setup on the lower time frame. This time this is the 4-hour chart. Divergence breakout below the middle point, and this is where the arrow is going to appear. So if I would be trading this one, what I need to check is the higher time frame range, which is white. All right, and this is not good for me in terms of this range being too big, right, too wide. So when we have the higher time frame range white, we go ahead, click set pending. Okay, we can now adjust take profit 1 and take profit 2 lines. Let's say you're trading 1-to-1 risk reward for the first one and then aiming for the big fish lower. Okay, of course risk reward is visible right here, and you would simply go ahead and click place order. And since this is a demo account which is not traded, where is that chart show levels? Now it would be visible. And basically once we go ahead and reach the zone, boom, trigger, etc, etc, etc. Since this is a demo account, guys, I don't really need it, so I'm gonna close it. But bottom line, 1-hour chart, that was the setup which already provided the profit, so perfect. Then we had Euro Kiwi, which already has delta patterns on weekly and the 4-hour chart. One way of trading is using divergences. Okay, this setup for me personally was not the best one, simply because the spike here would give us, well, for the 15-minute chart, a bit above my taste. Of course, we could have go ahead and place the stop loss here or somewhere around here, just squeeze it a bit, not covering the entire spike. But I don't know, guys, for some reason it was not, I don't really like it. Okay, so using divergences is one of the ways. You have bullish delta pattern. Okay, so aggressive approach would be using divergences, but in this case also you'll see that the middle point is very, 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 very close to us. So just not in my taste. Okay, tradable, it did pay, but I'd rather skip than be involved in something I don't really like. Then the next one here, double wave. Okay, beautiful cycle, divergence right here, bouncing from the 100, few pips below. Okay, which is also an advanced option we can go ahead and use. Of course, you have the option to trade also the trend lines. Okay, then we have dollar yen, which again, it has confirmation from the higher time frames currently suggesting that daily together with 1-hour and 4-hour charts and monthly with weekly. Well, monthly with weekly not really tradable on the very short term, but it gives us direction. Right, so combined with this one, we had a beautiful situation on the 1-hour chart. The range, you know that technically we are after sales. We are after sales after this divergence here. Convergence followed, trend line breakouts, etc, etc. But relying on the scanner and the delta pattern, you can see that in this case we have a fantastic opportunity confirmed on the higher time frames to go ahead and look for intraday short-term trading towards the top. One more, let's see what we have. Pound Kiwi, which also confirmed here with bullish idea and bullish momentum, looking for buy setups. This one not usable because we're looking for buys, right? So nothing to be done here. However, we do have hidden divergence, which later on formed and developed continuing divergence. And of course, using levels, always using levels and price action. We can go ahead and again, very similar to the Dollar yen idea, guys, bouncing using the direction, and then we know we can apply other ideas here as well. So pound Kiwi, bullish direction given. Aussie Kiwi also provided here hidden divergence. Okay, well, not the best one, still something we can consider. So definitely does look good. I see a few questions. One moment. FX delta would be great as the beginning. Okay. Peter, Yordan, as a rule of thumb, how many trade setups should delta present to us? Peter, it really depends on the market conditions. Okay, it also depends on which pairs you have in your scanner. So obviously, the more assets you're trading, the more opportunities. And also, you know that some pairs just get stuck in a range for days, so you cannot really expect much from these pairs. In general, classical, maybe 5, 6. Okay, not classical, much more. But not classical is something strictly individual, so it's not really part of the statistics. And Claudine, again, no arrow for me. Of course, no arrow, my dear, because the target was reached. And once the target is reached, you're not supposed to see an arrow anymore. Okay. Oh my, not this one. Okay, anyways, guys. But again, the idea is not having an arrow means you actually reached the target, right? So the arrow, the second arrow, is going to disappear once target 1 is reached, because technically speaking, this setup already reached the target and you don't really want to be trading this setup anymore. That's the idea. If the first arrow disappears, the delta arrow, that means the delta setup has already been invalidated, either up or down. Okay, so no problem, it's still fine. Is the red arrow part of the indicator prints? Are you talking about the red arrow on the chart during the breakout? Yes. Glenn, please give them some time. They will get back to you. All right, or contact me later on in Telegram. I'll see what I can do and try to speed up the process. Mazimpe, if your country is not listed, we have other alternatives that you can pay. Okay, we can accept PayPal and some other things, but please contact support about alternative payments. They will be happy to assist you. Goran, I believe 20 something is the actual limitation, maybe even more. I will actually lie to you about the numbers, but basically it depends on your screen. So the more you can fit, the better. What I usually do is I'm going to split Forex on one chart, add all the pairs I'm following, and then I'm going to split one for commodities, cryptos, and any stocks if on my list. So basically 2 or 3 charts maximum running, which can provide you with whatever you're looking for. The new presentation file is uploaded right below the video on YouTube, so you can find it in the description. Sure, Mandar. All right. Okay, guys. Now let's go back to the other ones. Do we start with Triple B or SRS? Anyway, let's start with SRS. The week began on the, was that 25th. Okay. So 3 trades here this week. Kiwi dollar. After the initial moves, we got in the beginning of the week for Euro dollar, Kiwi dollar, Aussie dollar, we said that we might be expecting now for the price to go ahead and create these bullish corrective waves or bounces that we were expecting. All of them failed basically because that was not the real reversal sign. So basically all the attempts for buys from the bottom failed. And this is Kiwi dollar, which is the first one. That's the double wave. You know how it works, guys. Basically what SRS is looking for is trend, and once we have the trend and we have identified the trend, of course we are using the directions we set based on the cycles during the live trading rooms inside Traders Academy Club. Then we are looking for beautiful double waves to appear, and these double waves should follow few simple rules. First of all, if those are the points, we want to see 4 to be below 2, right? So we have a breakout, classical ABCD pattern. Then second of all, we want to have the distances between the touch points to be more or less equal. Then we can go ahead and look for the actual entries. So Kiwi dollar, first entry with the buy, breakout of this trend line, immediate push to the downside, and trade closed. Okay? And you can see that we now have even conservative sell, which means the higher time frames are still under a lot of bearish pressure. Aussie yen, sell attempt. Okay. Now, first of all, pay attention to the price action, guys. This is really important for myself. Attempting to break above with this candle, failed to do so. Okay, immediate false break. Then another attempt to break, couldn't reach the high even to break this high, and second attempt to fail. That more or less tells me the whole story of what's going on around this level. This is where I want to start the attacks. Okay, and if there was a way for me to actually go ahead and squeeze this one, I would have done so. But this is already the 15-minute chart, which means I need to drop either to 5-minute or 1-minute chart, and this is a no-go for me. So the idea here is, again, very simple. False break on this level, and we are attempting to go ahead and look for the sells and further continuation down on the Aussie yen. It did push lower, unfortunately. It got stuck below, inside something that remains a range now, and we saw the push even higher, guys. Okay. Euro dollar, sell opportunity. Now this one was simply beautiful. I'm pretty sure that you remember that from the live trading room. This one, we said that after this move in the beginning of the week, we might be expecting pullbacks and continuations for those of you who attend LTRs. Okay, I'm pretty sure you do remember that. However, we said, when was that? Tuesday, Wednesday, not really sure. How does that look like, guys? What's that? And most of you inside the room told me that looks like a bearish continuation. And guess what? You are right. Okay? So always, always, always look at the price action and rely on that, because the price action represents what the money is doing behind the chart, right? I can tell you whatever I want, fairy tale stories, but the price action is speaking for itself. And that's why we said we're expecting to see at least one more leg down. And this leg actually surprised me because we almost went here for triple bottom, but it did provide, and I do love it, absolutely. So something like an expanding channel here created. Okay, that's why the trend line is absolutely ugly. But if you think about it, this is kind of a double triple. Okay, so we have one pattern, we have another pattern with not pattern, two touch points closer to each other, two touch points closer to each other, and then one big middle point in between them. So no need to watch the result. Basically, that's about SRS, guys, and that brings us to some slight profits here. Then let's go ahead and cover Scorpio. We had a few interesting examples. We said 25th, right? So starting from here, Aussie, Kiwi, sell opportunity. That's the 4-hour chart. Yes, 4-hour chart, okay. Again, some issues here, not sure what really happened, guys. Why are those not showing? But anyway, we have an aggressive setup, and we know that we are looking for continuation lower. The interesting part for me is this one. So not really sure why the software is showing aggressive, but obviously something went wrong. Anyway, we have a conservative setup, and we have a potential special cycle. Action zone above the high, which is simply perfect. And if you ask me, you can go ahead and expect, after a beautiful double wave, this push lower. Excuse me, guys. All right. You can definitely go ahead and expect something like that to happen. Okay, so that's the idea behind the sell. It did push lower. Unfortunately, the bottom here managed to stop it, and it pushed higher, guys. So stop was realized in that case, not the entire one. The trailing stop feature saved us from accepting a full loss in that case. Kiwi dollar, excuse me. In that case, we do have multiple counts we can rely on. This is the first one, and then of course we have the bigger one, which gives us 161. Looking for sells, of course. This is the attempt. Why? Well, simply because we have a triple cycle, and we can now expect technically a double wave to be provided to the downside. Very, very simple idea. And of course, you know, this one pushed much lower. So I'm happy we did not get kicked out here in break even somewhere, because after these low moves, price really provided some great momentum to the downside. Kiwi Aussie cat, buy opportunity in this case. Okay, that's the double wave we're referring to. Simply ignoring this arranging situation at the end and focusing on the bigger picture, guys. Okay, those are the two was that Scorpios. Okay, this is the bigger range, so we're kind of implementing this one inside right here, and we're looking for the buy opportunities once MFD switched. And you know what happened with most of the Aussies: immediate drop to the downside, and this one actually, well, it fell like a rock, right? Kiwi Aussie Euro Pound, buy opportunity. Okay, not sure why the team took this buy opportunity, guys, to be honest. A bit shocking for me, simply because that was on top of the range. I was actually looking to sell here. I'm sure they had their idea for some reason, but not sure why it was taken. Well, later on after the breakout, maybe looking for the buys. Yes. I'm pretty sure this is a mistake trade here, guys. We do have bullish. Puzzled. Not really sure. I believe this trade is a mistake. Not sure why it was taken. Target reached. But this is definitely something to be looking for sells here, right? Would you agree with me before the entry? Makes sense for sells, right, guys? Or I need more coffee. Alright, so maybe someone took it by mistake. Okay, we're gonna investigate. Good part is at least we didn't pay for that mistake, so we got lucky in that case. Okay, so this one, yeah, for me definitely looking for sales. Okay, we didn't have the not the Scorpio, yeah, actually the Scorpio, but we do have a diamond here. So I'm pretty sure the person was looking to sell this one, not to buy it. So no idea what happened, but the idea was a sell, which would have lost, by the way. So yippee, we got lucky. All right, so the next one, Euro Yen sell opportunity. Excuse me, guys, something really irritating me. Now this one, we have been discussing it for the entire week. We were waiting for the breakouts, etc., etc. Delta setup also, I think, appeared in Euro Yen. Manual trading, looking for the flag, and of course, Scorpio also managed to join here with discount diamond. Okay, so we have this fantastic zone, more or less superb trade if you ask me, and we have all three arrows lined up for the sales. So beautifulness. Unfortunately, even though it looks everything is by the book, we reach stop loss. Okay, perfect classical example of why you should not go ahead and disregard your money management and risk management when something looks super good, guys. Okay, because of these situations. Check, 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 and then you go ahead and instead of 1%, you put 5 or 10%, and then go recover that and go recover your psychology and try not to get back at the market. All right, so no need. Stick to the bigger picture, the longer term, and things are going to happen. If you have the urges to go ahead and do such adventures with your account, dedicate one smaller account, okay? Put 100, 200 bucks, whatever you can afford to lose easily, all right? I call these kind of accounts gamble accounts. Well, Vlad actually calls them gamble accounts. And you just go ahead and play. Okay? That's the idea. But have one bigger account where you just stick to the rules and you don't scratch the itch there. Let's see what else. Forex Triple B. Let's see if we have any mistakes here now. Maybe we got lucky again. Dorian starting from the 25th. Okay. Looking for sell opportunities. That was the bottom of the channel, something like that, guys. All right. So we had the divergence. And the idea, of course, very, very simple. This is the double wave. Now the risk rewards starts to make more sense. Okay. This is where the sell opportunity comes in place. It did push lower, so short term would have given you some pips, but in that case we're looking for the longer term targets, and in reality, if we go ahead to the chart, you know why we're doing that, simply because we have something like that, and this channel should be providing us with some good sells, and then later on we have the bigger channel, which means going lower even further is something worth the risk, definitely, in my opinion. Okay, so that's why the short-term target here was not followed. What was that dollar? And then we have euro dollar. Okay, as we said in the beginning, we were looking for the buys. So before we got the beautiful flag we just discussed, that was a double wave. According to Triple B, everything looks perfect. We have a double wave down. We had one here as well, which also would pay. So that's basically the idea behind this move. Longer term target was reached almost immediately. Aussie dollar, another one we started following for potential short-term pullbacks now after all the cycles. And this is the idea, guys. First of all, we have a double wave right here. Second of all, we do have this double wave right here. Third of all, we have some kind of a channel, and we're currently bouncing from the bottom of the alternative trend line or bottom of this channel or pattern that we have. Okay, tiny stop loss. So in that case, it's either going to work very nicely or we get out and be kicked out of this trade immediately. And as price pushed lower, you get out. No need to go ahead and fight it. Oil, oh my. Anyone traded oil this week, guys? No one? Seriously? All right. Well, oil did provide some fantastic moves. It broke some good levels. It came back to bullish momentum. And you know that fundamentally we are standing behind the bullish momentum as well. So everything fits together. And this week, the price action also proved that to be right. So this is what we have. Double wave here, double wave here. Okay, it can't get any clearer. That was also a situation tradable in my opinion, because you have this kind of a flag or channel which once broken to the upside, you know you can expect this momentum to continue. You definitely saw the moves that came before that. I'm talking about these moves right here on the higher time frames. So buy, buy, and buy. And boom, there you go. Profits cashed. Simply no words about oil. One of the best trades this week. It's really easy. I mean, when you have this kind of momentum and this kind of moves, it's kind of easier to just go ahead and trade inside this direction. Much safer and better. Pound cut, we have bullish momentum here, and the first thing you're going to notice is that now the 20 MA on the higher time frame is pretty close, okay, to the current market price, which gives us fantastic edge. So if it's going to work, it's going to work. If not, we get kicked out almost immediately. Good levels, if you look left, okay, we have good levels supporting us at that zone. And of course, we have some kind of a double wave, which we can, by the way, ignoring here the two candles rule for a second, we can also go ahead and count as a triple wave. Okay, so this way or the other, we have a cycle completing itself, we have a zone, we have the 20 MA on daily, everything starts to fit in place. Okay, so that's basically the attack. And as we said, if we're correct, it's going to move. If we're wrong, it's going to kick us out immediately. And that's why attacking near such levels is great, because it either bounces or breaks, guys. Okay, of course you have rare situations where we have very deep false breaks, entire moves that create false breaks, but those are not as frequent, okay, especially if you go ahead and cover the zone that you have, and if the zone is clear, you cover that zone well and you're on the safe side. Pound CAD Kiwi Yen sell opportunity for our chart. Moving down, momentum is down. We are looking for pullbacks. That was the first pullback which was missed right here. This is definitely a tradable, valid trade, guys. Okay, I would have taken it. I would have taken it. Now things do look much better, because just a few candles after, you have the price at slightly better conditions, okay, slightly higher, and we are now closer to the trend line and to the 20 MA from the higher time frame, which is represented by these red rectangles, right? So better, much better opportunity in that case. Few pips more in the pocket to be cashed out. And then we have Euro Yen, which failed. More or less the same idea we do have in that case. This is the double wave, the big one. And then we have some smaller double wave right here. Top of this range. Okay. Basically relying on these kind of patterns right here. So pretty close to this one. And we are going ahead and attacking the sells. Pushed lower, we're looking for the longer term targets, of course, and then it couldn't sustain, but it went higher for a stop loss. So that's about Triple B. Forex Libra Code, next one. Marine, any trades on your side? I know you're a hardcore Libra trader, so if anything to be shared, please go ahead. All right, starting, where do we start? 25 right here. Libra was the best performer, guys, correct? Yeah. I see. Well, it's good time for vacations. Looking forward to get one myself, but maybe at the end of the summer. All right, 25th QE. Looking for sell opportunities. And again, we have the same principle and following the same idea. We said that after this triple cycle, we would like to see double waves and then the continuations to the upside. Okay, so triple cycle, very classical idea, guys. False break, breakout below, pullbacks, and we want to look for the sells. And well, this push lower came at very good moment, okay, because having 100% extension in that case would have left us just a few pips before the target, okay, maybe bouncing from these levels here, and it was kind of a risky trade, I must admit, all right, but well, can you resist on that, right? All right, Katrina, have a good one. So Kiwi dollar 1 hour chart worked out pretty good. Dollar yen sell opportunity here. 15-minute chart, aggressive entry naturally, because we can't really say this is the healthiest pullback. The idea here is very simple. We do have strong momentum, so what we're trying to do is catch the momentum, guys, nothing more. Chances for some kind of flat correction or a range, So what we're looking for is immediate continuation, something like this scenario right here. False break with the breaks below, pullback, and we move down. So more or less we're looking for the same conditions to appear on that stage here as well. Didn't happen, and that's why the protection is immediately above the levels. These aggressive entries, if they don't work out according to your plan, leave them. Don't fight it. Go ahead, close the trade, move on, guys. Okay? Because otherwise you get into drawdowns you really don't want to get into. Euro-Aussie, that's an idea right before the reversal. You know we are looking for the sells, but until those sells actually appeared on the chart, there is no reason why we cannot go ahead and look for buy opportunities. I believe that was one of the good ones this week also. Why? Because we reached here some fantastic level and zone. I think that's pretty obvious. First attempt coming closer, pullback, second, okay, and then one more. This is also where we got break above significant high from a previous move, okay, couldn't break below on this low, and now that starts to make some sense because now we're actually breaking above this high once again. Looking for the buys, definitely a good idea in my opinion, and we know that even though we're looking for the sells, the price is still under bullish pressure, okay? So that's basically the idea, and you can see the move after that, guys. Look at this, okay? We're still under bullish pressure. No need why we cannot go ahead and join these moves. Pound Kiwi losing one. Very simple idea once again. Move, breakout, another move after the correction. Well, the price starts to create some kind of momentum here, okay? Lower highs, lower lows being formed, breakouts, etc., etc. So the idea of this corrective, which I assumed it would be corrective cycle, was not the best in terms of waves because I really cannot do that, right? It's more or less one straight move up. That's the idea. That's not a double wave right here, even though we broke. But this is a valid correction and this is a valid false break. So even though we don't have a valid double wave before that, we are still trading inside fantastic levels closer to trend line, a Libra Code principle in place, okay, so why not give it a shot? I think it looks fantastic, and this fantastic setup provided some losses here, okay? So pound Kiwi is this one. Aussie dollar, sell opportunities. Okay, again, beautiful trend line. Now we can go ahead and say we had 61.8. Now we can go ahead and see that we are right in front of this beautiful resistance zone. Multiple spikes after the first attempt and the correction. Okay, clearly having difficulties to break, and then we get the breakout below the low. I don't need more invitations than that, guys. Looks definitely great, and you know Aussie dollar I shared with you many times. Even if we go to the monthly chart, we should be reaching 61 anytime during this year, guys, probably, or maybe next year. But overall, monthly chart is setting the bearish tone since we broke this flag here, okay? So unless there is a false break of this flag, I think the overall and the strong momentum will be down, especially after the breakouts, because this is when the price tends to move a lot. Okay? First few months after that, we can expect to see something like this. And we still haven't seen something crazy, to be honest, compared to the previous candles. So sales are really something for us to pay attention to. So yeah, even though this is the 15-minute chart, I'm pretty confident when it comes to sales for the Aussie dollar, pushed lower, price collected. Oil, same, absolutely the same setup, guys. Remember from the previous one? We had Triple B somewhere here, I think, or was it here? Anyway, but this is the very same double wave down correction which we can trade literally with any strategy here, even manual trading. Libra manages to catch this trade. Now, the two candles rule here is a bit tricky because of all these spikes up and down, but to me that looks like a healthy correction. Okay, so basically something like that. Again, that's the flag. So false break, breakout, price coming closer, and we are looking for the buys. Was there a chance that we're going to see further pushes down like that? Yes, definitely. Absolutely yes. But in that case, we rely on the momentum. And for me, the momentum said that this is supposed to provide another leg up. So basically we are playing here with a double wave instead of looking for a flag. Okay, because if it was a flag, chances were we would push lower. Well, it is a flag, but for me the double wave gave the idea and gave the goal to actually go ahead and buy. Okay. So that's about Mr. Oil. Euro pound looking for the sales. Now this time that would make sense to me. Okay, that's near the top of the range. Okay, false breaks, multiple attempts. Well, it's clear that we have this resistance zone. False break, break below. Okay, all that is basically the idea behind the sales. And unfortunately, Mr. Trader didn't get confused this time to make profits, so we end up with losers. Euro pound, euro dollar. Now this is a classical situation, guys. Okay, this is a classical situation, just like we have with the euro, the move down. Okay, if we would break here, that would be also a classical situation. Tradable did not happen. Instead, we have the flag, the channel that we discussed, and this channel is also caught by this strategy as well. So false break on top, break below, looking for the continuation. Boom, we collect the targets. And then let's go ahead and cover divergence, and we're about to finish, guys. DU minus 2% this week. Okay, so we have 26 right here. Starting with Aussie franc. Beautiful trade. I don't care that it lost, but absolutely amazing setup. One moment. Sorry, guys. The idea is the following. We might be getting in front of a special cycle, second false break in a row, alternative trend line with this pattern right here, and divergences. I really can't ask for more. This is exactly what I'm looking for when trading divergences. Excuse me. The only part we can actually improve a bit is waiting for some pullbacks in order for the take profit to be slightly lower, So if this is going to be a trend line which is going to be respected, we have more than enough profits to go ahead and at least do some kind of management. However, we stick to fixed risk reward ratio, not touching it, and the target in that case was slightly higher, and well, we didn't really reach even the trend line here, right? It just pushed lower, so it would have lost, but the idea, I believe, you get the point. Oil. Here in divergences, false breaks, okay, and we're basically attacking the double wave, nothing more. Very, very simple idea, guys, and this one worked pretty beautifully as well. Silver. Let's see, what do we have? Bottom of the daily range is right here. So we said that we are looking for buy opportunities. Now, we had multiple divergences before that, but this divergence is now coming after what, guys? What do we have here? Exactly. Two false breaks, and this is false break number 3. Okay? And we're now very low at this bottom of the range. And all this bearish pressure, I think it's very well seen everywhere. So that's the reason, the only reason why I believe we have edge in that case, why this entry makes a lot of sense. Breakout below, immediate breakout below, stop loss collected, no problemo. Gold, that was the 1 hour chart entry, okay. We are looking for this buy setups, false break, okay. That's the idea with this entry, guys. And here we have another attempt, false break, okay, just reattacking the previous idea, and again, boom, we got a stop loss, okay. But having the alternative trend lines, having multiple false breaks in a row, this is where I would like to be trading divergences, okay, to have some kind of edge that tells me it is about for this thing to go ahead and give us the pullbacks, nothing more. Dollar yen. Oi, dollar yen, where is it going? Well, technically speaking, we still have kind of a channel from the daily, which is slightly higher, and we might see new highs. But in that case, that's the idea. Trend line, okay. Hidden divergence is in place, starting to form continuing divergence. And on the 1 hour chart, we also have divergences, false break with the close of this candle, and basically we are looking for this to happen. Of course, in those situations, as we said, you might be looking at expanding your profit for something bigger, because tops of ranges, etc., or channels are fantastic places to look for the big risk rewards. And this one pushed higher. So let's see what's going to happen with the yen. But absolutely fantastic trade, good levels, everything is simply in place, guys. So attacking with the most aggressive tool that we have in our toolbox, divergences, definitely makes sense for me. Now the next aggressive approach would be trend lines, if you ask me. Then the next one would be attacks with breakouts of lows. Okay, so that would be all for this week. I'm going to stop here, guys. It's already 1 hour. I'm not going to take more of your Friday. Do you have any questions? Anything that you would like to ask? Clive, I need to talk to you. What else do we have, guys? All right. Thank you, you too, Tiat. Cool. So enjoy the weekend. Thank you for being here today with me, guys. Really appreciate it. And well, that's all. Enjoy the weekend. Bye.